Hello, my name's Nicole. I'm here with Con Freaks and Geeks at WonderCon 2018. I'm here with the beautiful and amazing Nichelle Nichols, an inspirational figure in sci-fi and geek culture. We're going to be talking to her today about her new film, Noah's Room, an inspirational film about African American family taking in a foster boy from an abusive foster care system and helping him get a better life. So, Nichelle, Noah's Room is about diversity, it's about redemption, it's about love, it's about bringing someone into a loving relationship. What inspired you to kind of create this piece?
Well, we had something that was quite different. It was kind of built the same way, but it didn't seem good enough to me. So we got to talking, and I said something about it's like going to Noah's room, and you do so, and that eyes lit up, and suddenly we had something that we wanted to talk about. That people said, "Oh, I like that," and wanted to know more.
And you've always been a big advocate for diversity in films and in television. And is that kind of what inspired you for Noah's Room, to have the diversity of having an African American family take in a Caucasian boy into their home? Because usually it's the reverse of things. And it's really cool to see you do something like this.
I don't know if it's a reverse, but it wasn't often noticed or seen or talked about. You did it, and you gave your love to the kid that you brought into your home. I liked everything about it because we had much of that in our family. Yeah. And all over our family, which meant all over the United States at least. But I grew up, I could have been that kid, because I grew up in a family that was interested in what I was interested in and wanted to know, in other words, I needed to come to them and tell them what was new on my mind, and what I was gaining for now. And I came into a family that you, knock on wood, you could say, I need to talk about this, or when you have time. And it was almost like they said, I got time. Spread it out, move it away, spread it out, and this is your time. And so I always knew that if my parents and relatives were giving me time, I'd better be prepared for the questions. and the questions always help grow what I was working on.
So you were very lucky. You had a family that was very supportive of everything you did.
Yes.
And that's amazing. And it really inspired you for this film.
Very, very much so. And it wasn't just my mother and father, It was my sisters and brothers, and if an uncle or an aunt or a cousin found out we were having that a question and answer time, why wasn't I told? Because they'd come across the USA to where we lived just to do that, because they thought I was going to be somebody. Damn right. And so are they, and so are each and every one of us. When we make that decision, it brings us to a higher place in our minds and in our souls. And it's not about it's no longer about, oh, I'm going to get to talk about this or, that or the other, or I'm going to be so great on TV. It opens you up, and it opens up to other people too.
Nichelle, you've been a big inspiration for me and for many other women who are fans of comics and sci-fi. You're a trailblazer and a feminist icon, and you know you played an intelligent lieutenant on a show in the 60s.
Intelligent if she was going to be female, black, and 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 in the position she was.
And you totally did that. You broke walls and barriers for women, for people of color, for anybody who had a dream. And Star Trek, the original Star Trek, is such an amazing piece. And how do you feel that you've inspired people like myself and just millions of people around the world?
I think that they've done me an honor by even listening to me and using me as sometimes as look at that tall guy and using me as a go-between to where they wanted to what was on their minds. So I gained a lot in my family.
You totally, I mean, they must be so proud of you, and we're all proud of you. You've given us such an amazing icon and someone to look up to. Because Lieutenant Uhura she's beautiful, she's smart, she's strong, she doesn't take any crap. And I'm sure you are all those things in real life too. I know you're beautiful and smart and strong.
And that's the truth. And I got that from my mother and my father, both from two ends. They would take two sides. There are two sides, and then they would coax me along, on their side where they're thinking, and Mom would do the same thing, and Dad would wind up saying, well, we might as well quit this. She's always been smarter than I am. I said, so that's what took you so long to be married.
So, when it comes to Lieutenant Uhura, how did it make you feel when you were cast as her, when you got that opportunity?
To be cast?
Yeah.
Well, as I remember, she wasn't developed yet. They didn't quite know what they wanted, and but they wanted a female. They wanted me. I don't mean me. They wanted a me. So when I went in to interview, I just started right off the top telling them what was what. and they first they looked at me like, and then the next thing I knew I had fans, the people that were interviewing me.
Yeah, you have
that. Yeah.
You have so many fans all around the world, me included. It's just, it's inspirational to see intelligent women in media. And there's still not enough intelligent women in media. And so with Noah's Room, going back to Noah's Room, your family, you're the head of the family, and you are a very intelligent woman, and you have a very intelligent family. And that is something that's really interesting and awesome to see perceived in the film. So did you base Noah's family off of your real life family?
Absolutely. I have aunts and uncles and cousins all over the planet, and we would keep in touch, and we'd always have something that was on our mind to lay on the table, and they were always waiting, and whoever was up, because it wasn't just me. I caused it, but it wasn't just me. And so then the next one would be up, someone else. And it wasn't every day. But the next person that was up got all our attention, all our attention. It wasn't like, oh, well, me, 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 me. It was whoever was up at that time. It was wonderful.
Yeah, so it's a very strong family, and that's perceived in Noah's room. And it's something like family is what you make it, right?
You got it right on the head, baby. That's just what my father and mother were always saying, you know. And what my father said, as a person thinketh, so is he. And we would pop up and say, so is she.
So is she. I love that. You've always just been a really strong female, haven't you? You've always just been like, so is she. She can do anything. Yes. She is smart.
Yes, and it's because I came from a family like that. Male, female, doesn't matter. Whoever was up with something interesting to be examined and talked about. It didn't matter who brought it up, male or female, aunt, uncle, child. It got attention. Well, let's talk about that, and that was wonderful. Yeah.
Well, Nichelle, thank you so much for letting us interview you. It was an honor for me to meet you in person and to have you take the time out to talk to us about your new film and about Star Trek and about your life. You are an inspirational character to us all, and it's a very important part of your legacy, the Noah's Room, the diversity, and just continuing on with your body of work. So thank you so much.
Thanks. And the honor was mine.
Oh.